Hey guys, Brian with Buffalo Beer Reviews. This week's been rough. My grandpa passed away on Sunday, and he would have been 100 today. He was 5 days shy of being 100. So his drink of choice was Manhattans. No, it's not a beer review, but we're going to dedicate this video to my grandpa. Lieutenant Colonel Brown of the Army. Retired, obviously. But anyway, we're not going to get into any semantics. I like to drink my Manhattans neat. And I'm going to use a bourbon, Buffalo Trace. A lot of times I will use a Crown base to my Manhattans. I have used Woodford Reserve Straight Bourbon before as well. I've used a rye before, Rittenhouse rye, which also is very good. So you're going to need your base liquor. This time it's going to be bourbon. You're going to need sweet vermouth and a couple dashes of bitters. I didn't have any cherries in the house, so I'm not going to put any cherries in it, but you can garnish it with a cherry and or cherry juice from those maraschino cherries. You know, it's kind of my philosophy on that is it's kind of like how you order a steak. You know what I mean? When you start eating steak, I think a lot of people order it well done or medium well, and then I think as you get older and you get a more refined taste, you get a little bit more rare in the way you like your steak. And I think it's the same way with drinks. You know, you start off with whatever is the sweetest, maybe easiest way to drink, drinks, and then you kind of eliminate the non-essentials like the cherry garnish and the cherry juice. Do you know what I mean? So Manhattans are pretty straightforward. It's one of the easier drink recipes for me to remember. It's 1.5 ounces of bourbon or whiskey. It's 1/2 ounce of vermouth and a couple dashes of bitters, and shake it or stir it up, and then that's it. And like I said, I like to keep mine neat. It's real easy to drink neat in the winter around Buffalo because you can just throw all your stuff out on your back patio where there's tons of snow and it's cold for 6 months out of the year, and that's that. So let's get into this. So my grandpa, he used to bring like a Tupperware tumbler filled with Manhattan mix to Thanksgiving dinner every year at my other grandma's house. He'd show up with this Tupperware tumbler full of Manhattan mix. He would strain it and he would get everybody drinking, and I will tell you what, there wasn't a sober person at Thanksgiving from the entire time I can remember him bringing the Manhattans over. And just a few years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, I kind of brought that up to my family. I said, you know, I'd like to revive an old Butler tradition of having Manhattans for Thanksgiving. And I didn't get one single little objection to that, and we've been doing it ever since. I made a huge mess. No big deal. I don't really have the mental focus right now to really even care, really. So my grandpa spent 24 years in the service. He was a great dude. He was a world traveler, born, raised in Far Rockaway in Long Island, world traveler through the Army, ended up in Fort Drum. At the time it was Camp Pine, which is now Fort Drum, up around the Watertown area, and that's where my family retired to, settled into, and that's where I'm from. So cheers. Wonderful. It's smooth. This Buffalo Trace is a really nice medium for this this drink. Very smoky and oaky, smooth, very nicely refined. Don't let the vermouth kind of throw you off. It's a sweet vermouth as opposed to a dry vermouth that you use in like what am I thinking of, the drinks with the olives. A martini. Sorry. I don't like vodka, so I was drawing a blank. That just kind of cuts the bourbon a little bit, gives it a little bit of a sweet tang, and really the aromatic bitters, I'm not really sure what they do, but there's a whole different line of bitters if you're so inclined to learn about mixology and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a gentleman's drink, and you know, that's what I haven't, you know, it's a, I think it's a gentleman's drink, and that's what really I think of when I think of my gramps. So we called him Bappa. He didn't want to be called Grandpa, so we called him Bappa, and yeah, he was something else. Definitely one of a kind. Very fair individual, I think, from a career in the service. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry it's a difficult video to make, maybe a difficult video to watch me struggle through. I appreciate everybody watching, maybe giving a thumbs up. Why don't you let me know what your grandparents used to drink, or what your parents drink, or what you think about everything in general. So I appreciate everybody watching. Leave me a comment or a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.